So now if unique string, and this is actually here, I'm going to put, output pair. If unique string not in remove duplicates list, right? So in other words, we haven't already caught this triangular pair here. Let me just minimize this a bit here so we've got more space to work with. So if this unique string is not in this remove duplicates list, then what I want to do here is call this as output dictionary, and that's going to be equal to a dictionary. And now essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add absolutely everything in here. All of my variables pretty much are going to go in here, right? So we're going to have a base, we're going to have a quotes, etc. Now, rather than making you watch me actually type those out one by one, I'm going to go and copy and paste the code that we've got straight into here so that it saves time, but just so that I can highlight the kind of information that we're pulling in here. So I've got the information copied to clipboard. All I'm going to do is get rid of those and paste all that information in. And so we're pulling a ton of information, right? We're pulling the A pair, B base, A base, A pair, A quote, B pair, B base, B quote, C pair, etc. The combined of all of them, the IDs for each token, the IDs for each contract, the number of decimals for each token, and of course, and very importantly, the current mid-level prices here as well. Now, arguably, the prices here are kind of less important in a sense. They don't really matter as much. The reason is because we could pull those separately, but they are, of course, very important from an arbitrage calculation point of view. So what I want to do now is I want to go and say, the triangular pairs list dot append, and I want to append this output dictionary. And the other thing I want to do is on the remove duplicates list, I want to append, but I want to append here, I want to append the unique string, right? So that's this unique string here to make sure that we don't go including this again. And then at the end of all this code here, I want to return our triangular pairs list. And this should be the full list. In fact, if I go and I print this triangular pairs list, let's go and print it and run it and see what happens. I should get everything here. Now, I'm going to say, let's just do this for the first 50 objects so that it doesn't take too long. And when I go and run that, we get an error. So here it says, if unique string is not in remove duplicates list, local variable unique string reference before assignment. And so when I scroll down here and I say, okay, well, what does that actually mean? We've got here unique string over here, but here we're putting the if statement and this whole output statement too soon. All of this needs to be, it needs to be tabbed over by 1. So all of this should be under this if condition. C base is 2 and C quotes is 2, etc. Now it knows what unique string is. And if these conditions don't match, then this won't run. So that's my bad. I just had this in the wrong indentation before. So let's go and hit run again. And it seems to be running successfully. And there we go. That was fairly quick. So we've got, here's one object, A pair, which is USD CW ETH. B pair is WBTC W ETH. And C pair is WBTC USDC. So you can see we have 2 of each coin. This has worked absolutely perfectly. Now, if I scroll along, you'll see we've got quite a number of different tradable pairs there. So to see how many we actually have, let's actually rather just print the length of this to see, out of the 50 coins or 50 pools worth of information that we're extracting here, how many potential combinations did it find? And it found 10. So that's excellent. Now, if I change this number, to something like 100, it's going to take a lot longer to run. It's exponentially higher to run because essentially it's to the power of. And actually, that didn't take too long. It's still pretty quick in human terms. So that has now found 26 tradable pairs. And we're also going to run this for the full 500. Now, one of the things I want to check here as well is on my main.py that this is all working too. So what I'm going to do is get rid of the print statement here. I'm just going to add 1 extra line space just for good practice. And then on main.py, what I want to do here is print my length again of my structured pairs just to check that that is working. Let's go and run that again. And there we go. I've got my 26. So what we're going to do in the next session is we're actually now going to start looping through each of these pairs to use the mid prices we've just calculated to see, is there a triangular arbitrage opportunity? Now for the time being, I'm actually going to go and leave this here. If we go to the functional triangular arb here, I'm going to leave this variable here to 100, right? We're just going to do this for 100 because it doesn't take long to pull that. And then we're going to increase that number once this is, working properly to see then, how many pairs are there really. And so the way we're going to do that here is I'm actually going to put in a limit, and I'm going to make this equal to limit. And we're going to pass it in here rather, right? So we're going to pass in the limit, and that is going to be equal to 100. And if I made this as 500, it would run it for all, 500, because we had here 500 of these items that we had before. So here, if I go and hit play, same thing, it should just work exactly the same. There we go. Except now we can see more clearly that we're setting a limit for how many coins we wanted to actually go and loop through.